Hi, Kay Wallace here with Tools to Connect and also a member of the DNAT family, Dynamis International. This is going to be the first of quite a long series about web development. Now, if you know me, I am not a web developer. However, as a social media marketing agency, all my clients every time they come to me, that's one of the first things I do is I check their website and see if it's SEO'd. Is it SEOable? Do they own it? There comes into play all of these questions. So my question for you is, have you ever been had by a snake oil web designer? And be honest, probably most of you have. I have many years ago, and there's all these questions that you need to ask. So we're going to start, and we're going to address one question at a time. As you get the background of my dogs barking and serenading the neighborhood, as you can see, this is going to be a very informal video sessions addressing each of these issues. So the very first thing when you're going out looking for a web developer or web designer is ask the question, will I own my site? Why is that important? It's so important because if you say, here's the domain name I want, and a web developer, you just hand everything over and they go to GoDaddy or wherever it is they go to buy your domain, it's in their company's name now. So let's just say ABC Web Development. So ABC Web Development, you say you want, SusieJones.com. They say, no problem, we'll go get it for you and we'll build your website. Well, that's awesome. So now you own the domain, SusieJones.com, and it's been purchased. You're hosting either with your web development, and that's another question we'll get into later, but you're either hosting with your web developer or with HostGator or GoDaddy or one of the other hosting services. Now, here's what happens. Let's assume ABC Web Development Company was, hit by a bus. They went out of business. Or let's take the positive note. Susie Jones has really outgrown that website and needs to make some changes and wants access to it. Or she says, you know what, I found a really good developer. I'm going from a straight website, whatever ABC Web Company built, and she wants now an e-commerce site or wants a WordPress blog site, and this original site wasn't built in that way. So now she goes back to her original web developer and says, great, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Now she's paid for his services. She's paid for everything. Paid for the development, paid for the domain name. Guess what? Who owns that domain name? Unfortunately, Susie Jones does not. And this happens more than you think. It sounds like something so simple. Now, most web developers that are any salt with any integrity at all will say, absolutely, I just purchased it for you. It was something that we just do, and they'll hand it over. But you know what? I have seen many, many, many cases that a website honestly is being held hostage because the web developer says, I bought the domain under my name, I own it, and you can't have it. So now you've done all your branding with SusieJones.com, and you can't have your domain unless you pay, whatever ransom that web developer wants. So as you're going out looking for a new web designer, new web developer, make sure that's the first question you ask. And there's going to be many more that we're going to go into detail, but that's why you want to ask that question. Will I own my site? Will I own my own domain name? Will I own my site? Go get your own domain name yourself, and that way you always own it and there's never a question. So this is the first tip of how to avoid a snake oil web developer. This is Kay Wallace with Tools to Connect and the DNet family. We will see you soon with the second part of our web development series. Thank you and have a great day.